Okay, so today we're unboxing the Viltrox 13mm f1.4 lens, a wide-angle prime lens designed for APS-C cameras. I'm going to be throwing this thing on my recently picked up Sony FX30 from KEH. I purchased this lens myself after doing a lot of research. This video is not sponsored, and I wanted to share my experience, what drew me to getting this lens, go over its build and features, and talk about what I'm expecting from it. For those unfamiliar, Viltrox is a brand that's gained traction in recent years for producing lenses and accessories that focus on performance at a pretty accessible price point. They started with adapters and lighting gears before moving into lenses, and they build quite a reputation for offering solid image quality and build without the higher price tags of more established brands like Sony or Canon. The packaging is simple and functional, which is expected for a lens at this price point. Inside you get the lens itself, a lens hood, and front and rear caps. In the box you also find a lens pouch, some inspection papers, and also a manual for the lens. So I'm planning to make this my main lens for an upcoming trip. The wide angle lens will be great for capturing landscapes and architecture, but it'll also challenge me to think more about composition. The 13mm will be equivalent to a 20mm-ish with the APS-C sensor. With the 20mm equivalent, you have to be intentional. There's a lot of things in the frame and everything needs to be balanced, but that's part of what makes using a lens like this exciting. It forces you to see things differently, to approach your shots with more thought. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can create with it. I chose this lens because it feels like the right balance of quality and affordability. A 20mm equivalent focal length is perfect for many scenarios. It's wide enough to capture everything, but not so wide that it looks like there's a lot of distortion. And for the price, under $500, you're getting a lens that pretty much performs like it should cost twice as much. It's the kind of gear that makes sense for someone like me, someone who wants quality but has to be mindful of their budget. Taking a closer look at the lens, first thing I noticed is its build quality. It's all metal build, which gives it a solid premium feel. It's compact and balanced, doesn't feel delicate, definitely doesn't feel like a toy compared to other name brand lenses at this price point with a bunch of plastic components on it like Sony. It feels more like a tool, something built to be used and not just admired. The 1.4 aperture is a standout feature, allowing for better performance in low light and some subject separation even at a wide angle. Internally it has 14 elements in 11 groups, including extra low dispersion and a spherical element to help reduce distortion and chromatic aberrations. The 67mm filter thread is convenient, especially if you already have ND or polarizer filters in this size. The aperture ring can be declicked, which is great for smooth transitions during video shooting. The focus ring feels precise, and the autofocus uses a stepping motor, which is known for being quiet and accurate, something that's especially useful for video work. I've seen test footage and sample shots from this lens, and the sharpness is generally pretty impressive. Even wide open at 1.4 holds up well across the frame. While I didn't go expecting it to outperform more expensive lenses, based on what I've seen in reviews and test footages, it seems like it holds its own where it counts. Sharpness, color accuracy, and minimal distortion. Now ergonomically, this lens pairs really well with the FX30. It's lightweight but still has that solid all metal build, so it doesn't feel cheap. Mounted on the FX30, it's balanced nicely, whether you're shooting handheld, throwing it on a gimbal, or even just carrying it around. it doesn't feel like it's dragging the setup down. The focus ring is smooth and easy to use if you're into manual focus, and the declickable aperture ring is a nice touch for video. It's the kind of setup that feels good to use for long shoots without getting in the way. Nothing groundbreaking, but no complaints either. So yeah, as far as ergonomics goes, it just works, practical, it's comfortable, and it fits right in the FX30's whole compact but capable vibe. Can't wait to throw on a neck strap on this thing and carry it around during my travels. It definitely gives off the DSLR vibes back in the good times, how I got introduced to photography, videography. This lens is a strong contender for anyone looking for a wide angle lens with fast aperture, especially if you're working with a tighter budget. I'll be testing it more over the upcoming weeks, and I'll share my thoughts once I put it through its paces, but for now it looks like a solid addition to my kit.